Okay, lovely. And without further ado, please go ahead and start your presentations. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Gigi. So, Yngvi, hvað segirðu? Ertu klár í slaginn?
Yes, thank you, Sophia. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm going to try to share my screen with you. See how that works. Do you see the slides?
Yes, now we see the presenter view, so you should turn it around.
Okay, turn it around.
So if you have two screens, it should be the one that where you see the big slide. So now we are always seeing, two slides.
Okay, I just have one screen. Let's see.
Okay.
Okay, sorry about that. Can you maybe share the slides or?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing.
Okay, and then I will share for you. Okay, I think this is the correct one.
Okay.
Okay.
So you see this?
So let me see.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to go through a couple of slides on the work that is ongoing within the ministry and with the tourism industry in Iceland on a long-term tourism policy for Iceland and an action plan to follow up on that. Yeah, Sophia, I probably need to flip the slides.
Okay.
Okay,
just tell me when you need.
Yeah, thank you. So it's because, just some basic background. There has been rapid growth in tourism in Iceland for the last 10 or 20 years. As you see in this slide, there was a big downturn in COVID, obviously, but the recovery after COVID has been much faster than was anticipated, and in fact much faster than in other neighboring countries and countries we compare us with. So the total number of tourists which arrived to Iceland last year was around 2.3 million tourists, and bear in mind the population of Iceland is less than 400,000 people. So this is a very, very rapid growth. So next slide, please. And tourism has become today our largest export sector. It's a key pillar of the economy. The other key pillars have traditionally been fisheries and power-intensive industries, but today tourism is larger than those pillars, and the share of GDP of tourism is around 8%. And the number of people working in tourism last year was around 35 or 36,000, which is a lot compared to this population. Okay, next slide. This is just some background information. So there are definitely both benefits and challenges related to the growth in tourism. Obviously, the benefits is the increased state revenues, and this has become a key pillar in our economy, the largest pillar. It has led to various diversified job creation in Iceland in recent years, and for us locals, it has involved sort of diverse experience. I mean, we have much more restaurants and entertainment and so forth than we had before this growth. So there are many benefits to this. There are also certainly challenges, and how to meet this growth, steady growth. there is pressure on nature on the touristic sites. There is need for more infrastructure, and there is various impacts on society, public acceptance as an example of that, and the public debate on the pros and cons of tourism. So this has led to a need for a long-term tourism policy to be established for Iceland, and an action plan to follow up on that policy. And in overall, there is a need for a balance and a long-term vision. And I will speak more about this balance. So next slide. Yes. So we started this journey some 2 years ago, following from the political manifesto of the government, to work on a tourism policy and an action plan. And we've been working quite intensely on that for the last 12, 18 months. And we are sort of at the finishing line, getting close to the finishing line on that work. And we aim to present the tourism policy and the action plan to the Parliament in the end of February or beginning of March this year. There is an overall emphasis on sustainability in this work, in all areas of tourism. There's a focus on competitiveness, the quality, and also benefits for society throughout the country. As in other countries, I mean, we are facing various challenges, obviously, connected to this rapid and steady growth of tourism here in Iceland. There is need for more infrastructure to keep pace with the growth. There's this discussion on mass tourism and to distribute the visitors over the shoulders, not just in the summer months, but into the winter period, and also not just in the southwest corner of the country where the capital area is, and the south part of the country where the most famous tourist sites are, to have a better distribution in other parts of the country. And other challenges, I mean, you know this, it's education, it's the workforce, it's research, quality, safety issues, nature preservation, local acceptance, taxation, the impact of large cruise ships, marketing and competitiveness. And this all links to the need for a long-term sustainable vision for this key pillar. Okay, next slide. So tourists, they are worldwide, they are increasingly demanding sustainable destinations and sustainable services. So sustainability needs to be presented throughout the entire value chain. When we talk, and yeah, next slide, please. So when we talk about sustainable tourism, we are referring to tourism that respects the environment, ensures the long-term protection of natural and cultural resources, and is acceptable and justified from a social and economical standpoint. That is sort of the common definition of sustainable tourism. So next slide. So now I'm sort of getting into the core of what we are working with, and on the next slide there's an overall picture which sort of summarizes the key factors of the tourism policy, and it's combined of 4 pillars, as you see, and within each pillar there are specific emphasis points, 3 emphasis points in each of these pillars, and the overhead subscription is sustainable tourism, for Iceland to be leading in sustainable tourism. That's the long-term vision. competitive and resilient tourism which is in harmony with both the environment, the nature, and also the local communities and society. And this is all about this balance, and that's the corner definition of sustainable development, as you know, the balance between economy, social aspects, and environment. And then we added the fourth pillar, which is the visitor, the tourist. And in the corner, in the heart of this picture, as you see, there is sustainable development. And this is a circle because this is all interrelated. This is all interconnected. It's not like Roman pillars. It's a circle. It's a movement. One factor impacts other factors in other pillars. So yeah, we can read through these 12 emphasis points. So within the economy pillar, which is competitiveness and profitability, the first point is increased productivity, value creation, and competitiveness throughout the country. Progress based on technology, data, innovation, product development, human resources, and education. And targeted marketing into valuable markets and target groups. So that's the 3 emphasis points in economy. In society or community, the 3 emphasis points there are a positive effect on the local communities and increased quality of life throughout the country, as we have seen in the last 10-15 years with this rapid growth of tourism. The impact has led to more quality of life throughout the country with the increased state revenues and other good positive things following this development. There's a focus on management and development of destinations and tourist sites, and that the visitors can travel around the country, all of the country, the north and the east and the west, as well as the south, and also all year round. And that's why we've been introducing direct flights to the north of Iceland, not just to our main airport in the southwest, in the capital area, and also to the east. And it's very important that the sector, the industry, promotes and enhances local communities all around the country. For the environment, nature preservation, there's a focus on reducing carbon footprint within tourism, and East Iceland can play a leading role in energy transition with our abundance of renewable energy and share of renewable energy utilization. And we need to have a balance between, on the one hand, utilization and of land and our resources, and also nature conservation, to leave the wilderness unspoiled, etc. And in the development of infrastructure, we need to take this into account, this balance between utilization and preservation, to maintain our sort of uniqueness in terms of other neighboring countries. And we need to have respect for the tolerance limits at the tourist sites and to have a quality site management. And finally, the fourth pillar is the visitor, the tourist, and that's about the unique experience. We want the visitor's experience to be better or in line with expectations when entering Iceland, and that nature and culture and entertainment, they all combined contribute to a unique experience for the visitor. And to have professionalism, quality, and safety as a characteristic of Icelandic tourism, because Iceland can be a dangerous place to visit, go on into the wild, into the highlands, or on glaciers, and in all kinds of weather. etc. So this is the overall big picture we are working with, these 12 emphasis points, and this circle, and outside of the circle we have keywords such as coordination, knowledge, infrastructure, and quality. And the work we are sort of finalizing right now is to build on this future vision for the year 2030, and to follow up on this with an action plan. So if you turn to the next slide, and just more information about this action plan. So we about a year ago we established 7 working groups to sort of complete this tourism policy, and to follow up on it with a sort of a detailed action plan. These 7 working groups, they were sort of meant to grasp all of the aspects of the tourism industry in Iceland. So there's a specific working group on sustainability and energy transition, another on competitiveness and value creation, and research and innovation, tourist site management, quality and skills, health, food and specialty tourism, and culture and tourism. So overall, there is about 100 experts involved in this work and have been for the last 12 months. And those experts come from, the majority of them comes from the industry as such, but then also from various government sectors, various ministries, various institutions, and then other stakeholders. And we have had sort of policy advisors leading this, assisting us with this work. It's been an interesting journey, and very overall has been quite positive so far. So we are optimistic of completing this on time in end of February. And part of this work is sort of extensive meetings, workshops with stakeholders and the industry. And Jóhannes Þór maybe can comment on this, because Jóhannes Þór and the Federation of Tourism Companies in Iceland have been obviously very much engaged and involved in this project from the beginning. So it's a policy, it's a tourism policy and action plan from the government, but also from the industry. So it goes hand in hand. Okay, so coming to the end, maybe the final slide. So the outcome of this is, as I said, my minister will present to the parliament end of next month the tourism policy and the action plan. And the action plan will cover all of these 4 pillars in the picture I showed you before: the economy, society, environment, and visitor. And it will do so equally. So one pillar is not larger than another. So we try to have this balance, and we try to reach out to all of the 12 emphasis points. So in total, this will probably be around 40 or something detailed and defined actions, beginning in this year and to the year 2030. They are targeted and they are evaluated. There's a cost estimation, there's a timeline, there's who's responsible for this action and so forth, who's the key player and so forth. And also importantly, it's connected to other key policies from the government, such as our energy policy, our climate policy, our education policy, innovation policy, and so forth. So the workforce which you are discussing in this meeting is obviously a very important factor in this. And this is overall a bottom-up approach, and the ownership of this work and the action plan. It's the outcome of the work of the 7 working groups and engaged in, and the workshops we have conducted, etc. And we will monitor action policy and the action plan until 2030. So it's work in progress. And we foresee that there will be amendments following up when this action plan will be introduced. And it's both within the government but also within the industry. So just to summarize, I mean, this work, this policy making is our vision is that this will be a solid foundation for the years to come, and we will bring this to the Parliament because we need to have a sort of a cross-political long-term acceptance to this key message of this policy and these 12 emphasis points, that it will survive coming governments. And also, and more importantly, to reach a sort of a public acceptance of the importance of tourism as a long-term key pillar in our economy. And that is, to address the debate we sometimes see in the media, arising every now and then, that there is we are overcrowded and there is mass tourism, and that's to have sort of a better balance in the debate. Okay, this was my sort of short presentation. I mean, like Sophia mentioned, I need to jump to another meeting, but if you have direct questions, feel free to post them. And I also leave in the slides, there's my email is in the end of the slides, and so feel free to send me an email on if you have any comments or questions. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Ingvi. It was a very interesting presentation indeed. So just before Ingvi jumps away to other projects, is there some question that anyone would like to raise now?
Sophia,
Okay.
maybe
Ali?
it would be
Yes.
Yeah, maybe it would be good to have a very, very short presentation of the participants. Some of the faces are very familiar to me, but some people it's the first time I'm meeting. So just to know who they are.
Okay.
Maybe we can do it after the presentations, because I
Yes.
think Ingvi needs to go, Ali.
I think so.
Okay,
That's
okay.
But after the presentations, before we go into the groups, we can do a round of presentations.
I think we should do that. Yes.
Thank you, Ali, though, for reminding us.
Yeah. Okay. So Ingvi, thank you very much. Thank you for sharing your email also. So if people are curious, they will send you some questions to follow up maybe. And thank you for sharing your slides, and we can share them with the group. Okay. Thank you very much, Ingvi. Okay. So next one in line is Jóhannes Thor. I want to have a short introduction before Jóhannes starts. And Ingvi, are you trying to say something? Sorry.
Yep. It's fine.
Please. Are you, everything okay?
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. Bye.
Yeah.
So we have been working with stakeholders within the tourism business in Iceland now since we met last time in November. So we have been visiting companies, tourism companies. We started with the visit of the Icelandic Travel Industry Association with Jóhannes and his colleagues. And you will understand why when he will present or have his presentation, because he is the umbrella of the major part of all the tourist companies in Iceland. So it was a very good start for us. And then we have been having meetings with one-to-one into the travel industry, big companies, and spread around the country. So Jóhannes, welcome. Nice to see you.
Thank you, Sophia.
We're really looking forward to listening to your presentation. So please.
Thank
Feel
you.
free to start.
I'll start by trying to share my screen.
Mhm.
Hoping to get the right window. There we are. I think that's the right one. Are you seeing the whole screen with the slide?
Yes. Perfect.
For this event. Like Sofia said, they paid us a visit a few weeks back to discuss tourism in Iceland, and we are a little bit different from many of the associations in Europe, where you usually have, or most often you have, a hospitality organization, an association of hospitality companies, restaurants and hotels and such, and then tour operators are in a separate association, car rentals in a separate one, and so on. In Iceland, we have one association for all of those companies, so we encompass with our members, they come from all sectors of tourism. This, of course, makes it sometimes a little bit more difficult for us to navigate the different views of our members in different sectors, but it also makes us a lot stronger as a voice for the industry as a whole, and better equipped to share information and find solutions with the directorates and the public sector in Iceland. So just to let's see. So Ingvi has set up a bit of what I was going to say, so I'm going to go quickly over my first slides. Let's see how this, see if this works. Yeah, here it is. So as Ingvi said, we are quickly going back to pre-pandemic levels with tourism in Iceland. And right now, Iceland has been outperforming the world in post-pandemic recovery. We are well above the line for the world as a whole. Of course, Europe is a little bit closer to the Icelandic recovery, but we are still on top there as well. So we have had quite good success in recovering tourism in Iceland, but that does not mean that we don't have any problems. And I think that none of the problems in Iceland are very specific to Iceland. In my experience, talking to my colleagues in Europe, most of the countries in Europe have quite similar problems regarding tourism, especially when it comes to staff, vacancies, skill, retention of employees, and so on. So we have a little bit, nuances in each country, but the problems are quite similar. So tourism accounts for around 35% of Iceland's total export revenues. And as you can see from the blue line there, it dropped dramatically, of course, during the pandemic, but it has come up quickly again, and we are now nearly up to 2019 levels of export revenues. And you can also see from the graph how large, or how much, how important tourism export revenues have become for the country's economy. So this means that we last year accounted for around 8% of GDP, and as well around 8% of total working hours, according to the TSA accounts. And for the next year, the forecasts predict around 2.4 million international arrivals, up from about 2.2 million this year. So we went up very quickly, had a very quick recovery after the pandemic, but now it's evening off, and we are hoping that it will go towards a sustainable growth year on year. We certainly do not want the same boom explosion in numbers as we saw in the 10 years after Eyjafjallajökull in 2010, because we want, as Ingvi explained, to work with the government to make tourism a sustainable sector in the country. So coming to what we are perhaps mainly discussing here today is the workforce and challenges that related to the workforce. It's no secret that Icelandic tourism relies heavily on foreign workforce. We would not be able to have tourism here in the way that we do in a small country where we accept 7 times higher numbers of tourists every year than the amount of people living here, without the use of extensive foreign workforce. And that means both just hands for the work that don't need special skills, but also, of course, very specialty skilled people who we need to import, because we do not have the skill set here in Iceland to, at least not in enough high enough numbers. So we are importing workforce to keep this sector going and to develop it, and that means that the workforce and where we can get the skill that we need, how we can get the skill that we need, the regulations surrounding it, how it plays out with the other challenges of tourism and in society as a whole, such as housing, seasonality in rural areas and such, become quite demanding challenges at times. So we have, I think we said, around 30,000 people working in the tourism industry in Iceland, up to similar numbers as before the pandemic now. And if we look at how that divides down into sectors, we see that the food and beverage services are quite high. That's of course because this counts the people who work there, and we have a lot of people working part-time jobs in the food and beverage industries. So that number becomes relatively quite high. The foreign workforce in tourism has been growing, and this is perhaps the first point that I want to emphasize. Where we see now where things are going with the amount of people coming in, the amount of foreign workforce, and just to explain the picture, the Statistics Iceland, that this is the setup that they have. They count either from Icelandic background or immigrants. So Icelanders and immigrants. This is of course a very simplified view on the world, because we have, as we can see in if we look at the column for 2019, we have around nearly 28,000 people working in tourism. If we look at the green portion of the column that is classified as immigrants, we have around a third of that green portion that was people of foreign descent who had either immigrated to Iceland for a short term or were living here long term. So this is not all migrant workers. It's a third of the green portion there. Third of what's classified as immigrants with Statistics Iceland is people who live in Iceland and are part of the community permanently. And it will be quite interesting to see what's happening now. If we go to the other end, we see that the green portion, the immigrant portion of the column is growing larger. And if we go to the next slide, we can see that the foreign workers percentage has grown from 37% pre-pandemic to 44% last year. And we would very much like to see a little bit into that, what's causing that, and how much of these people who are classified as immigrants with statistics are actually people who have settled permanently in Iceland. Because that's, of course, what we want to happen. We want people to come work in tourism, settle in Iceland, and become part of the community to help us grow and develop the sector. So we only see see positives surrounding that. That's kind of the golden ticket in when you're running a tourism company, that you get someone from abroad who is skilled and helps building your company, helps it grow, settles in the local community, and adds to it, adds their own value to the local community. We've seen a lot of this happen during the last 13 to 14 years, and the positive impacts on especially small rural communities is quite high. If we compare this to the other sectors, we can see that tourism industry has 44% of the foreign workforce in tourism is 44%. But if we look at the fishing industry, it is around 39%, and construction 35%. So you can see that other sectors in Iceland have a very high percentage of foreign workforce as well. And of course, this is what happens when you have a very small society growing very, very fast. And if we zoom out and look at the kind of whole, all sectors together, in the tourism industry, we have around 26% of the foreign workforce in Iceland. So yeah, and a very familiar bend down in the graph there in 2021. So this is kind of the overview. If we look at the vacant positions quickly, this is what's been happening in Iceland, and we can see that the columns are number of vacant positions, and the green line is the vacancy rate. And we are now quickly in the last year, we've been quickly coming close to the pre-COVID levels. And so we've been recovering quite quickly there as well. It didn't look very well if you look at the column there in the second quarter in 2022. We had a direct comparison with Europe, where the WTC and the ETC sent the EU Commission a letter warning that there was job vacancies were around 10% in tourism in Europe, and at the same time we had around 8% vacancies in Iceland. But as you can see, that dropped dramatically in the third quarter when we had the high season, and we had a good bounce back right away during that summer. So from that point on, we've been recovering quite well, but that does not, of course, tell the whole story, because it's not the same thing to have people to fill the jobs and to have the right skill set that you actually need. And I think that while we have been recovering in when we look at the numbers of people and the vacancy rate, we still have significant problems in getting the skill set that we actually need. And we have significant problems with staff retention, high staff turnover, and things like this. So the challenges are not out of the way, even though we have less vacancies. So we did a survey with our members around a year ago, where 42% of our members said there was a shortage of labor or a shortage of employees at the company, and over 50% of our members believed that the shortage would hinder the company's growth over the next 5 years. And what's more alarming is that only 26% of our members believe that the Icelandic education system can meet their company's skill requirements for the next 5 years. And of course, this is very much tied in with the belief that this will hinder the growth in the next 5 years. And nearly 40% believe that the education system will do rather poorly or very poorly to meet their skill requirements. So they don't believe that the education system can change to rise to the challenge. And this is something that we at the association are quite worried about. We have been trying to work with ministries and institutions in Iceland in the education system to flag this problem, to try to get certain projects off the ground, and that is going very, very slowly. There is not, I would say, very high emphasis on tourism education, or even to try to get things moving more quickly so that we can develop the skill sets that we need more quickly. Another problem that we have is staff housing. So Iceland is, I don't know how familiar you are with demographics and how Iceland is spread over the country. We have a country of around 104,000 square kilometers, but 2/3 of the population are centered in the southwest of the country. And then we have very rural areas with the largest town outside of the Reykjavik area, around 20,000 people, and others around 3,000 to 4,000. So these are quite small communities, mostly out in the countryside, and staff housing has become a problem for everyone, not just in the rural areas, but as well in the capital area. So it's been a perfect storm of housing market challenges. We have a very fast post-pandemic economic growth now, and that means high demand for foreign workforce in pretty much every sector, but especially in tourism. We have seen housing market prices grow very fast in the last 5 years, especially during the pandemic, when money became very cheap because of low interest rates, which traditionally are quite high in Iceland. We have a very poorly developed rent market, so there's not much availability of traditionally of apartments for rent. We have had for many years low profit margins from building new housing in rural areas, which means that in many areas in the countryside, we haven't seen very much of new buildings in the last decades even. So on top of all this, we have, of course, like all countries in Europe, increased housing demand due to higher influx of refugees from Ukraine, for example, but as well other places in the world. And then all of this comes on top of legacy problems on the supply side from the 2008 banking crisis, where not enough apartments and houses have been built during that time. So this creates, of course, a huge problem for companies in tourism, where they need to import a lot of staff. But the problem becomes that even if they can get the staff and the skill set that they need from abroad, they need to buy housing, they need to rent housing themselves. They usually have to provide housing for at least a good portion of their foreign workforce. And this can be quite challenging in many areas, and of course creates a lot of costs for the companies that makes them less competitive in the international market. And this means that even though we've had problems like this, mean that even though we've had quite quick economic bounce back from the pandemic in tourism, that does not mean that the companies are rid of all the challenges that have come with the pandemic. Far from it, because the costs have been rising. The companies are, many of them, still quite debt heavy, and all this adds to their problems. We have also seen some interesting changes related to social changes in Europe that the pandemic brought, and these seem to be fluctuating a little bit, and it will be interesting to see where this goes. But in general, we have a lot higher staff turnover after the pandemic than we did before. This is we believe this is getting better, but one of the things that we've seen is that before the pandemic, most of our foreign workforce in tourism came from Eastern Europe, and they came for many years in a row in many cases, which meant that we had lower staff turnover, we had lower training costs, and there was often a high probability of filling position with friends and family of current employees, and which was a very good system. But what happened after the pandemic was quite interesting, because we had a lot higher percentage of people coming from Southern Europe, from Greece, Spain, Portugal, rather than the Baltic countries, Poland, Slovenia, and so on. So what happened just in the first years after the pandemic, first 2 years and still going on, is that the staff language often changed, especially in accommodation in the countryside from Polish to Spanish, and this in itself was no problem. But what happened was that because we lost a lot of people who had been coming for years and years, we lost a lot of experience on top of the brain drain from the pandemic, and which meant that we had higher staff turnover. Many of these people had no experience in Icelandic tourism, perhaps even most of them. That meant higher training costs, higher staff turnover, and it was harder to fill vacant positions. So we are seeing this turning around again. The people from Eastern Europe are starting to come again last year. People who were, in some cases, working in Icelandic tourism before the pandemic, but this has been an interesting turn of events, and we think that there are positives and negatives with this. This, of course, means that we have a larger pool of countries to look towards when we are looking for skill. With time, these people are very likely to want to retain their positions here year after year, just as the people before the pandemic, and so on. But it will take a few years to settle again. So we are still kind of up in the air with some of these things, and during that time the costs will stay higher. I'm going to try to wrap this up because I've gone over my time. The last point I want to make is the seasonality, especially in rural areas. We have the lowest seasonality of the Nordic countries when we look at the country as a whole, but there is a huge difference in seasonality with the southwest of the country and with the rural areas. So for small companies or small or medium companies in the rural areas, it's a key thing to be able to grow and develop the community and the business, to be able to retain people for the whole year, to hire people and keep them on all year. Because when you have a business that's only as many of the, or perhaps even most of the tourism companies in the rural areas are doing, when you have a business that's only like maybe 4 to 6 months, you're always hiring people for 4 to 6 months. You get the situation in many cases where your employees really want to stay on for the whole year. You would like to retain them as staff for the whole year, but you can't, because you don't have any income for 4 to 6 months during the year, and you can't pay them any wages, or at least not the wages that they need. So we've been looking at how we can do this, because what happens in some cases is that these people go on to unemployment benefits. They become part of the costs for the state. Some of them, of course, leave and don't come back. That means more costs for the company because they have to train new people the next year, higher staff turnover, and so on. And so we believe that it would be in everyone's interest, the state, the companies, the local communities, if we could increase the likelihood of staff settling permanently in the area, working the whole year with companies, with a program, some kind of test program perhaps, that could help companies to retain their staff the whole year, even if though their business is just half year, maybe 6 or 7 months. So for 3 or 4 months over the winter, the high winter, the state could use part of the unemployment system to try to fund or help these companies fund staff retention. And in this, of course, it's very important for us to try to find the solutions with the Directorate of Labour. And we talked about this briefly in our meeting a few weeks ago. And because we believe that a program like this would be a good use of public funds, and would in at least partially make use of funds that already now go to unemployment because of seasonality. So there are challenges there, but there are also possible solutions that could benefit everyone. And that's, I think, everything that I want to say at the moment. So if anyone has any questions, I'm quite ready for a good debate.
Thank you, Johannes. It was really a great presentation and very interesting. And the last part, for us, cooperating is a very interesting thing, and I'm looking very much forward to our future cooperation. So we are running out of time, of course. So if there's anyone really burning with questions to Johannes, please give me a sign. Otherwise, we will continue with 2 brief presentations from the Directorate of Labour. Anyone curious? Okay, so Johannes, thank you very much for your very interesting presentation. And if anything comes up, people can maybe send you an email or whatever.
Yep.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, please, Ali.
It was very interesting. Thank you very much. But I think this problem with seasonal working in the tourist sector is a common problem in Europe, because even if you go to the most touristic countries in Southern Europe, they also have the same problem that. And I remember I was in Athens in a very famous restaurant, and the waiters didn't speak Greek or English. They were from Albania, because there were no Greeks left in the tourist sector. So in the end, I didn't get my food. But I think this is common, because we have this problem in Sweden too, when we have in the tourist sector especially, and the COVID was devastating for the sector. But it's very difficult to find a solution for it when the employer cannot pay a salary 12 months around the year.
Yes, I think that's why the idea that Johannes presented here is very interesting. If instead of paying unemployment benefits, we could pay subsidies for the companies, so they could keep their staff members. Of course, they would be working, and on that basis, building up the company, helping owners with development into the future. So maybe that could be a very interesting project and a good solution for Europe, not only for Iceland. Okay, I see that Johannes has put his information on his email, about his email, in the chat. So if anyone wants to ask further questions, please write to him. I think we have to continue. Johannes, thank you very much for your
Thank you so much.
Presentation. And
I have to pop onto another meeting now. So
okay.
So good luck with your discussions today, and I look forward to hearing more about them.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And bye.
Thank you.
Okay, so Kristjana, are you ready for
yes,
your presentation? Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, you're gonna be my technician and share my slides. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So here we are. And
yep.
I hope that
I'm good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Nice to meet you all. My name is Kristjana, and I'm a counselor in the refugee department of the Directorate of Labour. I have 20 years of experience working in the tourism industry in Iceland before starting working with refugees. So I'm quite happy to be part of this project. If we move to, the first slide, I'm just going to give you some statistics and narrow it down to tourism and Ukrainians. So in 2023, we received 4,159 asylum seekers. 39% of those were from Ukraine. And the Ukrainians, they receive a social security number within 2 weeks and can start looking for a job almost immediately. And that's not the same case with everyone else, but there's a special law for Ukrainians. So if they want, they can start job search right away. Next slide. Yeah, this is Iceland, map of Iceland. And as you can see, there's a lot of red dots in the southwest of Iceland. That's the capital area. And most of the refugees are based in the capital area. And I work in the office in the capital area. So the numbers I'm going to give you is the numbers we have been working with here in Reykjavik. Just to give you an idea, for example, in the small villages in the southeast, there were 8 refugees, and some of them there were 40. The bigger ones, maybe 350, but the majority is here in the southwest. Okay, next slide. Yes, last year, this is the number of refugees in the service of our department here in the capital area. We assisted 1,565 people. Of those, 45% were from Ukraine. The year before, we had 4,500 refugees, and of those, almost 50% were from Ukraine. Each refugee is assigned a counselor here in our department, and we assist them with making CVs and applying for jobs, get their education validated. Sometimes we even go on job interviews with people. You know, if you feel that their language skill is not good enough, we go to assist them. And we sign them up for different kinds of courses. And we are providing courses in the different languages, mostly in Ukraine, English, Spanish, and Arabic, because these refugee groups, the biggest refugee groups, come from these countries. Yeah, we offer a lot of job-related courses, and then, for example, for the Ukrainian population, we have of Icelandic in Ukrainian, computer courses. So we have kindergarten courses. We are trying to make courses to get people more job opportunities, because the problem we are often facing is lack of language skills. And like Johannes was saying before, I think that's the overall problem we all are facing. Yeah, and all these job-related courses, we had some luck in getting people jobs afterwards. For example, in kindergarten, we're teaching people Icelandic and then how to work in a kindergarten. They got on on-site training, and we've been trying to do that a lot, get people on-site training, and that they're hired afterwards. And this is, you know, because it can be so difficult to get people jobs when they only speak their mother tongue, which can be Ukrainian or Spanish or whatever. So we're trying to focus as much as we can on these job-related courses. Next slide. Yeah, in the capital area, out of these 1,500 people we assisted, some 780 got jobs with our assistance. 43% of those were Ukrainians, and yeah, and the rest from different nationalities. Yeah, it is difficult to find a job. You know, out of the 1,500, only 700. Well, not only, but some 780 found a job. Those who speak English normally don't have any problems getting a job. The problem is when people only speak their mother tongue. So next slide. Okay, jobs in tourism in Iceland. No, in the capital area. As you see, 45%. 45% of the people no, out of the total number, 45% of Ukrainians got jobs in tourism. And mostly those who got jobs in tourism, they speak English. If you don't speak English and work in tourism, you're mostly working in housekeeping or as a kitchen assistant. If you have English language skills, you can work in other sectors. And the same goes, I don't have exact numbers for other parts of Iceland, but it's the same everywhere. If you speak English, or English is the most important language, more important than Icelandic, you get a job. But the dilemma we are facing is that the Directorate of Labor, and this is an order we get from above, we pay for Icelandic courses. We pay for job-related courses that include Icelandic, and we are not paying for any English language courses, which is, it doesn't help the tourism industry. So this is something, maybe some change of policy has to be made, because we, at the moment, we are not permitted to pay for English courses. So maybe with Johannes and his association, we can make up some courses for people who want to work in tourism, to improve their English skills, their skills to be able to work in tourism. And I think, this is a job we need at least to have the conversation and get some change of rules. That is something Ingvi would have to, and the Ministry of Social Affairs, they would have to maybe make a change in the policy that the Icelandic, you always have to teach Icelandic first and foremost, and not pay for any English lessons. And I think this is about it. I just took it very quickly. Yeah, if you have any questions.
Thank you, Christiana. It was good to have it quick, because we are,
I know. Yeah.
running out of time.
Sorry,
So,
can I have a question? Hello.
yes,
Yes,
please.
please.
Yes, my name is Sergej Zabotna. I'm from Poland, Warsaw University of Life Sciences. Speaking about the refugees who found their jobs in the capital area and throughout the country, could you tell us more about the sectors, a part of the tourism sector, where they found their jobs? Thank you.
Yeah. Most of the people are working in hotels, in housekeeping. Many are working in restaurants. If they speak English, they're working in receptions, they're in activity tours. But if you speak a little English, then it's mostly housekeeping. But we have people also in receptions, and there are drivers. Can be a driver guides, or it depends on. It mostly depends on language skill, not education. It's you can be an educated waiter, but you can't work as a waiter because you cannot communicate with the clients. So mostly I would say, cleaning and kitchen work.
But I think he was also asking about other sectors than tourism.
Sorry. Yeah.
Do you have info about that?
Yes. We have people in construction, and we have in the school system. We always need people in the school system, so they're like assisting in kindergartens. They're assisting in after-school activities, nursing homes. There are many foreigners working in nursing homes. What else? Stores, supermarkets. That's what I can think of now. But they're in all sectors, and we even have practicing doctors and nurses. If they got some of them, it can take years, but if they get their education validated, they can work in the hospitals and all over.
Yeah, usually
Thank you
depending
very
on
much.
skills
Thank you.
and educate and of course language skills, of course. Thank you. Okay, so I think we will go to our last presenter today, Gyða. And are you ready, Gyða, for your presentation? We cannot hear you, Gida.
No, we still
No?
can't hear you. No.
Okay, I see she's sharing the screen, but it would be better to hear her voice.
Yeah. Gida, if you have just put on some headphones, you might want to try just, oh, I can't see you now, but we can't hear you. Oh, we can't see her now either.
Okay.
Okay. Gida?
So
Ooh.
is she maybe writing something in the chat or what?
Have we lost her?
Okay.
Okay, she's
No.
gone. No, she's writing audio. No, connecting. Okay. Okay. If you've just made some changes, Gida, to your Zoom, what you might have to do, we can't hear you. We still can't hear you. No. What you should maybe do, if you've just made some changes, you might have to leave Zoom and come back in so that the changes work. She's writing something on a note. Okay. All right. No, maybe. I would
Okay.
maybe suggest that whilst we sort out the technical problem with Gida, we could take our 5-minute break that was supposed to happen afterwards. So let's all take a 5-minute break until, well, let's say until 1:20. So if everybody is please back at 1:20, and Gida and Sophia, maybe if you could both stay, so we sort out the technical problem. Okay?
Yeah.
Is that all right
Okay.
for everybody?
So everyone else, have a nice break. Please stand up and you know, do some exercises and have something to drink or eat. And see you in some minutes.
Exactly. Okay. And I'm just going to try and see. So Dana,
yes, I was talking with her. She said that she can listen to us after she reset the sound.
Okay.
So she's asking for help to solve that.
Okay.
I already told her that we are going to have a break so we can fix it together.
Okay. So she can't hear us either, can she? No.
I see that
I
Christina
cannot
is there
hear you
with
after
her.
I reset the sound.
Ah, okay.
So it's better if we text. So I'm just gonna tell her.
Okay, okay, not to worry, not to worry. I see she's got somebody else with her now.
I will visit Christian and talk with her.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, poor thing. Okay, she's moving now. Okay, she looks very stressed. Bless her. Okay. So they're in the same office with Christiana.
Yes.
Okay, so she can maybe just go to Christiana's.
Yeah, they're both in.
Okay.
Okay. So.
I'm
Hi.
very sorry about this. I will find.
Not to worry.
Thank you very much for your patience.
No, thank you.
But me and Christiana, we made this action plan. If either one of us would have problems, we were going to, you know, find each other. Okay, so let me see.
It's okay, Giva. Everyone is having a break, so.
Okay.
So we decided to have a break while, you know, we were sorting this out. So no stress. And,
I'm wondering, Sophia, maybe it's no. I have it here. Oh, yes, I have it.
Okay.
Here.
Yeah, so I also have it. So just.
I have this.
Yeah. Are you just testing if you can share? All right, Gida.
Yes. and
Okay.
I can't share. Yeah, I can. Okay. So now I'm just putting you on one screen here, and the slides on another one. Okay, this is my first actual time as a technical fail, so thank you for staying with me. Okay, I think I'm ready. So just let me know when everyone has come back.
Do you want to try to share the screen now, just to see?
Yep.
Yeah.
Are you seeing it?
Yes, it's perfect. It's perfect. Okay.
Okay.
So we can
good.
stand up for 1 minute, I see. And
Okay. Okay. I'll just
See you.
stay. I will stay put and not
You will
change
stay.
anything. So.
Okay.
Very good.
Okay.
Thank you, Gida.
No problem.
Okay. Dana, if you need to get up 5 minutes or something, please do, okay? I'm going to be here.
Okay, thanks, Gigi.
Okay, how is it? Is everyone back or? Let me see.
I think we can give them 2 more minutes, Sophia.
Yes,
With the 20 past, give them 50 seconds. Maybe you yourself can stretch.
It's okay. I did stretch and stand
Stretch
up.
and breathe.
Yes.
Okay.
And then
Yeah,
I have
let's
some.
give it a few more minutes.
I have some nuts and raisins here, so I can eat
Good.
also. Okay.
We can hear you loud and clear now, Gada, so just so you know.
Okay, good.
We can see you nicely as well.
Okay, that's good.
All good.
And I'm still sharing, right? The screen.
Yes, yeah,
Yep.
we can still see the screen. Yeah.
Okay.
So let's just wait a few more minutes. I can still see some blank screens.
Mm-hmm. And of course, my screen is blank because now I'm officially
Yes.
Kristina.
Yeah. I realize you can't see us.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Okay. So people are still having the break, I see. So when you come back, please turn on your cameras so I know that you are back. Okay. It depends where you are in the world. 5 minutes they can be, stretched or you never know how long 5 minutes are everywhere in the world. Usually quite short in Iceland. We don't have any time to take breaks or have lunch or.
No, we just move swiftly.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Just breathe the air.
I can see now more cameras are coming on.
Yes. It's happening.
Maybe 1 more minute. Okay. Let's get.
So where's Rick Parks today?
He's busy with another meeting, so
okay.
I'm afraid he couldn't make it. Too many things going on at the same time at the moment.
I see you're mostly from Iceland, all the participants.
We've got participants from, we've got participants from Iceland, from Poland, from Ukraine, from Sweden, from Spain, from Cyprus, from Greece. And have I missed a country?
No, I think you have.
It's very widespread, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I saw mostly Icelandic names, that's why. I heard someone was from Poland also, so.
Yeah. Well, maybe because we are hosting and the presenters are from Iceland, but we should have been more because 2 of our colleagues, they got sick and everyone is getting sick now. So,
Oh, wow.
It's this season, January.
It's a season, that's true. Yeah. Okay, so I think we should start so that we won't lose too much time.
Okay.
So Gyða, please.
Yes, thank you. And first of all, I would just like to thank you for your patience and to thank my colleagues, Kristjana, for the great presentation, and also Yngvi and Jóhannes. So, but I was going to talk to you about the EURES Iceland and the recruitment services that we provide at the Directorate of Labour. I have been working as a EURES advisor for almost 12 years. And so I was going to talk you through a bit what we do. First of all, to explain in very short terms what EURES is, it is a cooperation within the countries of Europe, both the EU countries and also the EEA countries. So that's where Iceland comes in. And we will celebrate 30 years of existence this year. So there will be all types of events and a lot to do. But there are 2 main pillars of the service provided by EURES in general. And it's, first of all, the human network. So I have around 1,000 colleagues all over Europe. And our main job is to facilitate recruitments between employers and job seekers, between countries and all over. And the other pillar of service is the EURES Job Mobility Portal, where all vacancies that get registered and advertised by the public employment services around Europe, they are gathered there in one place. So job seekers all over can visit and get access to job vacancies. So the cooperation of EURES and the Directorate of Labour has been ongoing from '94, I think. And we have been a part of the recruitment services provided to employers. And in general, if I simplify it, we can categorize it into 3 different types. So there's recruitment service at national level. Then we have the EURES services, and the Directorate of Labour also offers various labour market measures. For example, like the one Kristjana spoke about for Ukrainians, where people can find a job and the employer gets a grant paid because they are recruiting people from certain types of sectors. So I just wanted to give you a quick overview of typical service to Icelandic employers in tourism. So we, of course, have our services online, and that matters greatly because employers, they need quick and efficient service when they need people, when they are in the recruitment process. Our service is, of course, free because it's part of the public employment services, and it's multilingual. So an Icelandic employer who is seeking employees, perhaps for the summer season, we can assist with translations of the job vacancy. So it can go onto the European EURES portal, where it gets wider attention from job seekers. And we rely heavily on our own experience and also the experience of our colleagues, because usually we know what to do. And if we do not know it, then we always have a colleague who is an expertise in the field. So these are, you see a few of the questions that we get on the website of the Directorate of Labour. You, for example, can access information about how to prepare a work contract. You also can get tips on how to organize a job interview. And of course, Christiana has, and her department, she will supervise what to do if you wish to recruit a refugee, for example, from Ukraine. And also as a newcomer in Iceland, as a foreigner coming to Iceland and that would like to find a job or get information, you know, where to open a bank account, etc., we can provide all those information as well. And yes, I was thinking we are very problem solving, and I'm very proud to be part of a team, because we really rely on being flexible and, you know, finding a solution to everything that comes our way. So yes, in terms of the project that all of us are participating in, I think it's very important for us to think about what we want to achieve. And I shared with you an Icelandic saying, í upphafi skal endinn skoða. It's one of my favorite, and it actually means when you are starting something, you should always think about the end of what you're starting, you know, what you would like to achieve with the things that you're doing. And because it's January and we are starting the project, I think this is something that would benefit all of us. So the term "what's in it for me" means exactly that. The dialogue, for example, for me and my colleagues and Sofia, we have started a dialogue with employers, with Jóhannes Association, and I think we really need to focus on what they need from us. What do employers see that they can benefit from what we could benefit from this project? And of course, this means that we have to come up with a good plan. And we also have to think about receiving feedback, you know, in our case from employers after we provide the service in terms of the tourism sector. It's very valuable to listen to what the people outside our office are saying. So that was all for me. And I'm open to any questions you might have, but not about the technical matters though.
Thank you, Gyða. This was really great, and a very nice Icelandic sentence that you were teaching us. Í upphafi skal endinn skoða. That's what we should have in mind, really.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you. So you can stop sharing.
Yes. Oh, yes. I just sat here very quiet. Yeah. Here. Okay.
Okay.
Stop
great.
sharing.
Thank you. Okay. So here we are, the Mars group, and no external presenters. So we have already had our break, and the next thing that we were going to do was the breakout rooms. But before that, it would be maybe good to have a round of introductions. So just who we are and where we come from which institution and or company, and from which country, because some of you are new in the group, and of course us who have been there from the beginning, we don't know everyone because they are new faces. So I think this would be a very good thing. So if I start, my name is Sofía Gísladóttir, and I am in Iceland, situated in the north, working for the Directorate of Labour as a labour market expertise. And I am, well, I can say the head of the MAS group in the Directorate of Labour. And so next to you, Christiana.
Yes, like I said before, I work in the refugee department, and we assist not only Ukrainians, we assist people from, I don't know, 20, 30, 40 countries finding jobs. And like I explained, for Ukrainians, we are doing the same things for other nationalities. And yeah, so just basically we're helping people get a job and integrate into the society by taking different courses.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Christina. I think we have to have this very short and just name, institution or company and country. So Robin Stolberg.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for a very good presentation. My name is Robin. I'm working within labor market assignments at Folkuniversitetet in Uppsala, Sweden.
Thank you. And Gida? Again, maybe.
Hi, I'm sorry. I had to switch to my phone so that I could hear you. So if you could repeat the question.
Okay, just name, institution, country.
Oh yes. My name is Gida and I come from Iceland. I work with the Directorate of Labor on the EURES project. Thank you.
Okay, and now Olesia.
Sorry, did you say Paula? Me?
I said Olesia.
Oh, sorry.
Olesia, you
Yes.
can.
Hello. I'm a representative of Vita Suta and Vinnytsia region of Ukraine.
Thank you. And next in line is Piotr. Peter?
Hello, everyone. I didn't have a chance to say hello to everybody, so now it's the time. I represent the Polish Warsaw University of Life Sciences. Thank you.
Thank you. And then it's some name I cannot read, something Areti. Okay.
Hello, everyone. It is a great pleasure to meet you today. This is the first time I am among you. My name is Areti, and I have been working for the last months as a project manager at Dimitra Education and Consulting Organization in Larissa, Greece.
Thank you, Areti. And then it's Jason.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jason. I work for Renova, Spain. Yeah, sorry. I'm English, by the way. Yeah, but I work for Renova, Spain.
Thank you. And then I have Aya.
Hello, my name is Aya. I'm an intern from Folkuniversitetet, and I'm my mentor, Christina. So I'm getting to know this project more.
Thank you. And then I have Natalia.
I'm from Ukraine. I'm a representative of Vinnytsia Institute of Trade and Economics.
Okay, thank you very much. And then I have another Natalia from Vita.
Yes.
Yeah.
We are two Natalies from Vinnytsia Institute of Trade and Economics, and I'm a director of this institute. First of all, it's really a great pleasure to communicate and to work with you. And thank you very much for all the presentations, because it was really useful to know and to get all the information about not only foreign refugees, but about Ukrainian. It was really interesting for us. And I am a director of this institute. We have a special department which is connected with tourism industry, and I'm a member of the working group on tourism development in our Vinnytsia regional council. So that's why I think that my knowledge will be useful for everybody. Thank you very much. I'm glad to see my friends Ali and Gigi, really glad, and I hope that we will continue to work very hard and have a good results. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Natalia. And then I have Sandro.
Yes, hello everyone. Thank you for really interesting presentations. I'm Sandro Kåre and I'm representing TrimTab from Sweden, Stockholm. Thank you.
Thank you. And Christina?
Hello everyone, my name is Kristina Malanoha. I represent Folkuniversitetet Uppsala, Sweden. Originally, I think it's important to mention that I come from Ukraine. In Sweden, I'm a refugee, and I'm also was related to the tourism sector at my previous work. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And then it's Paula Manoli.
Good afternoon. I'm Paula Manoli Gray. I work at Larnaca Tourism Board in Cyprus, primarily in marketing, content, and on EU projects alongside Nana.
Thank you. Then I have Nana.
Hello, everyone. I'm Nana Azmeni, and I'm the manager of the Larnaca Tourism Board, of course, in Larnaca, Cyprus.
Thank you very much. And next in line is Ali.
I'm sorry. Hello, my name is Ali Rashidi. I am director of the Department for International Cooperation at Folkuniversitetet. And I want just to add two words more. I'm very happy that we could have this project, especially connected to Ukraine, because it's so important that we do as many projects with Ukraine as possible to show our support for Ukrainian people. So thank you, Natalia. Thank you, Natalia. Thank you, Alicia, to be with us today.
Thank you, Ali. And then is Seri.
Hello, my name is Serhii Zabotny. I'm from Poland, Warsaw University of Life Sciences, Institute of Economics and Finance, together with Piotr. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And Ödur? We cannot hear you, Ödur. So there are problems with the sounds in the Directorate of Labor, I can see. So this is Ödur. She is my colleague from the Directorate of Labor. And yeah, you will have to fix the, yeah. Well, we hear something, but very, very little.
Oh,
yeah.
okay, let me see.
Okay, there. It's better.
Is it better?
Yeah, yes, fine.
Okay, hi, I'm Ödur. I work for the Director of Labor. I'm an associate of Sofia and Gida. I work in the, what do you call it, like the business sector of the Director of Labor. Thank you. It's my first time also here.
And then I have, let me see. Okay, I think I have everyone now, but Gigi.
Hi, I'm Gigi. You've been hearing me. I'm from Renova, Malaga.
And then Dana.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dana from Renova, Malaga.
Okay, so I think everyone has had the chance to introduce themselves. So now we are going to go to the breakout rooms. And you saw the questions in beforehand in the agenda. I will be the only facilitator in breakout room 1 because we have the sicknesses in our group. In breakout room 2, Christiana will be the facilitator, and in breakout room 3, Gida will be the facilitator, but Ödur will be with her there. So how is it? How are you going to divide us into the breakout rooms? Is that Dana or is that...
Yeah, that's Dana.
Yeah, I'm working on that.
You're working on that. Okay, that's great. So will it be separately? So you will divide countries and...
Yeah, so we've got an Excel with all the names.
Okay.
Updating it. So Dana's going to split us in a minute.
Okay.
And we're going to try and have in each group different people from different organizations. So the intention is that there won't be 2 people from the same organization in the same group, and it should work out. So any minute now.
So I hope everyone is familiar to the breakout rooms. In a moment, you will be in a breakout room with some colleagues of the MAS project, and you will see the facilitator will at least introduce in which breakout room you are, if you don't know it. And then we will follow up with the questions. We will have some discussions. And after 15 minutes, we will be meeting again here, and we will have some feedback from the discussion within the breakout rooms. Okay, so everyone is ready? This will be fun.
Hello.
how your country can cope with this.
Yes, it is challenging, I can tell you. And also from the first presentation this morning, you probably all realized that we have been waiting for this policy for some time, and I really hope it will benefit all of us very soon, because more infrastructure is definitely needed. But yes, Dimitra, do you want to add anything?
My name is Areti. Dimitra is the organization.
Sorry.
Yes, but in Greece, Dimitra is a female name too.
Okay.
Yes, I wanted to mention that an interesting fact is that here in Greece, even if the I'm sorry, I just received the message and I lost it a little bit. Even despite the legal condition of Ukrainian refugees, a recent survey by an international organization suggested that the need of Ukrainian refugees here in Greece are similar to other refugee groups, like people from Pakistan, Afghanistan, and other countries. And the survey suggests that almost 26% of people admitted that they don't have enough food at home for the next 2 weeks. And this is something that
hire people that have been working with them. So this is a situation that we are facing, and that is why we need to discuss, to debate more with the tourist sector. We have to go out and meet with them. And usually when we have high percentage of unemployment, we are a very good, we could say, institution. But when we have low rates of unemployment like now, companies think that we will not have skilled staff to hire. So it comes and goes in waves.
And Sophia, may I have a question?
Yes, please.
Why do they hire people from abroad again next year? Is it just cheaper because they are not skilled, or what's the reason of that?
I think it's easier, and they get faster what they need. Either you maybe are more familiar to this problem.
Yeah, I think it's
I 100% agree with you. Of course, no matter where the people are coming, our aim is to support as much as we can, and this project as the aim of this project. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I think we're all on the same page. If I summarize maybe what we have spoken about so far, that the countries are seeing the same challenges, and
Well, hello everyone. Welcome back. I hope you had a very good conversation in your breakout rooms. We had fun in number one, and an informative one also. So now we are going to have feedback from the breakout rooms. And I will start with mine, number one, Jason. He took notes and he is going to present a feedback from the breakout room. So Jason, please.
Thank you very much, Sophia. Kind of going to go around in a country way. We basically spoke about challenges. We kind of merged our questions together and we looked at it from with a country focus. So in Cyprus, there is a serious issue with finding employees there because there are more jobs than people. Locals are now disinterested in working in the industry. It's lost its luster. Also, hoteliers broke down the collective agreements that they've had, I think, with local government, meaning that they can kind of do what they want without having kind of that whole, not ombudsman, but kind of that local government holding them to account. People not wanting to work antisocial hours, long hours, do overtime as well, the indigenous population. Right, so obviously Cyprus has a history of genuine Cypriot hospitality, and there is a feeling that this is being lost with the influx of foreign workers. There's also a drive to get the indigenous youth to engage with the tourism sector. Many jobs have been, so there are many jobs that have been created in Cyprus, but again, they're still unable to be filled with the lack of people. In Sweden, they're having similar problems as in Cyprus. Locals do not want to work in the sector, low pay. Also, there's a lack of language or Swedish spoken by foreign workers, which means that obviously it's difficult for them to engage within the industry. And also another thing in Sweden, it's very easy to use the welfare system to be able to obtain money rather than necessarily have to take any job or a job that maybe you don't want to take within the tourism industry. In the Ukraine, there are problems obviously with touristic opportunities. There are employee needs versus employer needs. Basically, some employees are basically lacking the appropriate skill set to work within the tourist industry. There is a problem in Ukraine around the legal frameworks for working within the state government and the collaboration between state government and non-government organizations. So there's a lack of cooperation within these organizations. In Poland, there is an issue around low salaries, it being a seasonal job. Some people are lacking, again, the composite skills to work within the industry. There's a lack of investment in the workforce. Some people are looking at it merely as a job just to get money. Students are not getting opportunities because of a lack of funds. And students are also lacking the opportunity to participate in meaningful, practical tourism activities. And a lot of students who just have no intention, they may study tourism, but they actually have no intention on the end goal to get a job within the industry. And in Poland, a quarter of the tourist industry workers are from abroad. In Iceland, young people are studying one thing. Some are becoming teachers and nurses, but maybe within their first year are dropping out and then going into the tourist industry. People are not wishing to work within, I think it's I think Sophia will be able to easier say it. I think it's the employment institution that companies are not happy to work with them to get people. Companies rather are offshoring and recruiting people, their staff from abroad. They're taking them in for 6 months or for the season, and then those people are leaving, and then they are re-recruiting people the following year. Maybe this is around companies finding people who are not as skilled, who will accept lower wages. Those people are then kind of let go, and then they re-bring in people. I'm sorry if I'm garbled and not making too much sense. So I do apologize.
No, it's great, really. I think you got to the point with every country, Jason. So thank you very much.
No problem.
Couldn't have done it better. It's good to have a native speaker when when you have to present. Okay, and take notes. So thank you very much. And next breakout room, that was Christiana's number 2. So Christiana, are you going to present, or do you have another speaker?
Gigi is going to present for us.
Okay, thank you very much.
It'll be me. We similarly did our discussions in country rounds, if you so want. So we had, for example, from Sweden, in Sweden. Oh, sorry, I should start with the question. So our question was, is it a challenge for Ukrainian refugees to get a job in your country in tourism? And what are the requirements in terms of language skills? And to be honest, we all drifted towards the language skills. However, we heard some country context. So from Sweden, in relation to the tourism industry, it is possible to find jobs. It is, of course, of advantage to speak English to find a better job, if you so want, or to have more of a choice. Because you need to not only speak to the tourists, but also internally. So, for example, one of the examples given is reception might be possible to work if you only speak English. If you, however, don't speak Swedish, in a kitchen, it might be more difficult because the staff among them speak Swedish. So the language skills, English and Swedish, depends a little bit on what sort of type of job you're looking for and diminishes your choices. As a suggestion, it would be good to have work-based specific training in Swedish. So rather than expecting a full Swedish course, to have targeted specific training. And of course, what was mentioned is micro-credentials. So having small bits of credentials, of certificates for specific bits of training, language training or other, would be good. In Cyprus, the situation with Ukrainian refugees is that they have a protected status. So it's for them relatively quick to get housing, welfare and employment papers. So that makes access to the job market really easy. Tourism industry often looks for staff. So there's many job offers in that industry. And employers are very keen on Ukrainian employees, sorry. English is widely spoken, so there's no real need for Greek, but also it seems that Ukrainians have an ease to learn Greek. So that seems to be an added bonus. There are large numbers of refugees. There are around 200,000 at the moment, with 10,000 women, 3,000 men and 5,000 children. Then we heard from our colleagues from Vinica, from Ukraine, which I thought was very interesting, which of course not everybody thinks of, that there are a lot of displaced people within Ukraine. So although they're not refugees as such, they're officially they're called displaced people, but of course they have the same needs as refugees in other countries. So the Vinica region offers a lot of tourism at the moment, specifically because of the ongoing war and the travel restrictions. So there are more people actually also visiting Vinica, and that offers more opportunities for tourism employment. There can be some language problems with Russian refugees. And there is a lot of promotion to actually teach English in the schools, in the university, so that refugees, if they do have to go abroad or want to go abroad, that they have more opportunities. So there is definitely an emphasis on language as well. In Poland, there are around 1 million refugees, and they're decreasing or moving on a lot of the time to other countries for other opportunities. So there's some traveling through. There's some difficulties with wages, difficulties. The wages aren't very high, which poses some difficulties for example, senior citizens, senior refugees, who then have problems in finding well-paid jobs or enough well-paid jobs to live. And the lack of language skills of especially the elder people, if I understand that correctly, poses problem for them because they cannot retrain, upskill, do training in Polish, so on and so forth. So that definitely causes a problem. And then there was a last question, if there are any free courses offered in the countries, and we didn't really finish that. So there was, I understand, no free courses as such, but yes, there are offers. So in Sweden and in Cyprus, we were hearing that there are some offers of courses. I was trying to be quick, sorry. Oh, we can't hear you, Sophia. You're muted, Sophia.
Sorry, I speak and speak. Thank you, Gigi. This was really good, and we got the overall picture, so that was great. So, Gida, your breakout room. So, who is going to present?
Well, it's actually going to be myself.
Okay, great.
I'm such, yes, I should have done the same as you to delegate the project, but yes, I didn't think of it, so sorry. But we had some interesting discussions in my group, and to begin with, maybe the comments from Sweden about they were familiar with the challenges that were represented in the presentations. For example, how to combine the seasonal work and then what to do with people when they were off season, how to, combine the two. We spoke about support to employers also, and to increase the number of public employment service and opportunities. And of course, yes, we had the question of what kind of service are you providing to the tourism industry? How can you improve your services, and what tools do you need? So that's what we were talking about in terms of the same challenges, as I mentioned. It was a good point also that the public employment services must adapt to the needs of immigrants to be able to welcome them in a better way, immigrants, refugees, people coming from other countries. And the language barrier is, of course, an issue. But in Sweden, for example, then the barrier was before that people should learn the language first and then go to a job. But maybe it should be combined, to learn the language while working, where you have the opportunity to assimilate to the society in a better way. So in Greece, we spoke about refugees, immigrants having similar needs, and how Ukrainians might be more easily accepted. But in general, we agreed also that every person who needs to go leave their home to come to another country, it's very important that all of them should get a similar service. And so we ended with the sentence that legislation should be about the people and not about the legislation. So we have to adapt, and we have to move quickly to be able to respond to the needs of people coming to our countries. And that's a very important thing to think about. So I think that's all from us. Thank you.
Thank you, Kiva. That was good, really. And I think we have a very good picture of what went on in the breakout rooms. I really enjoyed mine. I hope you enjoyed yours also. It's nice when we are fewer and we can have this, personal conversation. It's easier than when we are in the big group. So I think we have to keep on. We have still left some 13 minutes of our session. And I think we are going to have some fun now, and we are going to go into a quiz.
I was going to suggest, Sophia, because we only have 13 minutes left, if there was any questions or announcements first, in case anybody has to leave at 2:30 sharp. So we're going to finish with the quiz. And then anybody who has to leave, they have to leave. Although, of course, they will miss out on a fun quiz. So we should. But was there anything urgent you wanted to tell us about the... well, first of all, does anybody have any comments or questions maybe that are pressing before we press on?
I posted a correction in the chat about our numbers site.
Okay, so Paula is saying that she posted some, I don't know if you heard that. So Paula, in the chat, she just shared the correction of the numbers because I said them wrong when I presented them. Thank you, Paula. Sorry. You told me twice and I still got it wrong. Thank you.
It was a bad internet connection, so it's okay.
You're very kind. Thank you. Okay, so no pressing questions, so that's good. So the other thing was for Sophia to maybe, if you wanted to, give us something about the next trip in Iceland if needed. If not, you can do it by email. And Ramon from TrimTab, if there's anything technical or practical that we need to know for the next session. But again, if we want to do it by email, that's totally fine.
Well, I would just like to say I haven't looked into the Excel sheet recently, but last time I looked, there were very few that had already signed up for the meeting in Iceland. So please decide on on who is coming from each company, from each partner, and sign up, because it's important for me to know the numbers, and also because we were previously and in our last meeting I was having the suggestion that we would have the meeting up north, but as you maybe heard about housing in Iceland and finding even places for people who work in Iceland, a place to sleep in. We have this problem in the north of Iceland during the summer. Everything is nearly sold out now. So it was much easier to host a meeting in Reykjavik. You can have a much more choice of accommodation there. In any price. I had recommended a hotel that is very close to our office. It's just at the other side of the street where we will be having the meeting. But of course, feel free to book anything, but book fast, because everything is selling out, and then the prices are getting very fast up, and that's not a good thing. So please look into that, and please sign up for the meeting in the Excel sheet. And of course, I had then the offer, as I have always done when I'm hosting European projects in Iceland, I offer people to go with me for a trip and up north. So those who want to take the trip with me on Friday, and we would drive up north in a bus, we would go for a very interesting tourist visit on the Saturday, and then people could return. I would recommend by flight on the Sunday morning, or they would, maybe those who are going to stay longer, they can take a rental car from the north and finish the circle of the country if they like. You just think about it, and that's at least an offer. And for those who want to join me, they have to tell me very soon, because I have to book the bus. So that's all from me now. Any questions? I promise you it's okay to come to Iceland. It's not very it's not very dangerous, although we have had eruptions and even quite close to the international airport. But don't worry, everything is safe.
Thank you, Sophia. That's great. Of course, this is only for the mass partners. So if you're a guest today, I'm afraid not for you. Good. So moving on, if there's no more announcements. No?
One question from me only. Whether those, I would like to know whether those presentations that were shared today will be available for us, or we will have to rewatch the entire meeting to take the presentation again.
No, we will be delivering the presentation. So probably I will send it to Gigi, and Gigi will either, she will find out.
No worries.
Yeah, great.
Okay, so if there's no more announcements, without further ado, I would say we go into the quiz that Sophia has prepared for us. And Jason, you can find it in the link in the chat.
So this will be fun. And of course, the Icelanders are not supposed to take part because this is not about mass. This is about Iceland. So both for you to,
I think everybody can take part. If you want to take part in the quiz, please just click the chat. If you're Icelandic, try to answer some questions wrong.
Okay. Okay, we will.
Right.
So please, let's all
in?
take part and have fun.
Right, I think, how many people are there? We've got 9 people in so far. Because when I start it, I need to start when everybody's in.
So if you click the link, you get a yellow background and it says, "Welcome to our mass quiz." Okay, is everyone in?
Let me just check. Right, we have 12 people. I'm going to start it in literally about 10 seconds.
So those who want to participate, please click on the link.
Right, I'm going to start it now. Everybody, you get 10 to 15 seconds per question, and you get more points the quicker, faster you answer the question. So I'm going to start the quiz now. Should be started. Please start for me, quiz. Should be starting.
Okay, something is happening.
Yeah, it's working, Jason. So it's just
Right,
asking your name.
Okay, brilliant.
So yeah,
I think is everybody ready? Right, I'm going to press enter now. So everybody is ready to go. Yeah, so answer the questions as quickly as you can. More points, more prizes.